how's everybody doing? Welcome back to Asshat Podcast on YouTube. Got a Blu-ray this time. This is one of probably my favorite Eddie Murphy actual movie. Because I mean, Raw and Delirious are great. I love both of them. But Little Cop's good. Coming to America though is just one of those, and I think a big part of it is I saw this in a theater when it came out back in the '80s. I don't know what the reason why, because usually I didn't go see a lot of comedies in theaters. My parents would just go rent them. Most of the comedies, it was more like, like I said, we would just rent them or wait till they popped up on regular TV, which you knew would be 5 years down the line. Remember that used to be a big deal? The network television premiere of blah, blah, blah. And you're like, ooh, this 10-year-old movie I've seen 20 times is showing on CBS. Yeah, did the broadcast network show movies anymore? I have no idea, but we went to the theater in Pascagoula. If y'all from the area know, there was a theater behind the Pizza Hut in Pascagoula. I don't know if it's still there or not. I have not been down to Pascagoula in quite a long time. The little two screener. Got in a lot of stuff and went with my parents, and we walked in and sat down. And who was in there with us? One of the teachers at the school, too, Miss Haynes. I love you, Miss Haynes. Never had her as a teacher. When I was there, when I first got to that school, my elementary school, Orange Lake Elementary, she was like in the 5th or 6th grade teacher. Then when I went from 3rd to 4th grade, they moved her down to 2nd grade. So I never actually had her, but she was a blast. Sat there and watched the movie, and I just remember her laughing her ass off. And afterwards talking on that movie was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Coming to America, real simple. Eddie Murphy, he's a prince of Zamunda, I think is the name of the country. James Earl Jones is his daddy. He's supposed to be getting married. He's already in a prearranged wedding. He don't want to marry the bitch. Can't blame him. He don't know her. So him and Arsenio Hall, and I can't remember Arsenio Hall's name in this movie anymore, they're going to come to America to find Eddie Murphy a queen. And of course, where are they going to go to find a queen? Queens, New York. They flip a coin in Queens or Los Angeles. They went to New York. They're living in like the worst part of New York. Eddie's trying to hide that he's got money. He works at McDougal's with Louis Anderson and James Almost. And McDougal's like a ripoff of McDonald's. They have the Big Mick instead of the Big Mac, all this shit. And this movie is just fucking hilarious, man. There's just so many bits in it. Like, it started Eddie's getting up and he's going to go take his morning bath and he's in the bathtub and there's these two topless women there scrubbing his back and this woman pops up out of the water and goes, "Oh, Royal, Your Highness, the royal penis is clean." I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, it just cracked me up because I was 85, 86 when this came out. So I was, 10 to 12-ish when this came out. Just so much in this. There's the girl Eddie's after. It's the daughter of the guy that runs McDougal's. She's dating this guy whose family invented Soul Glow activator. And there's this great bit where every time they sit anywhere, wherever their head touches, leaves a big oily mess. Just little bits like that. Funny as shit film. And I found it was extremely cheap. And plus, not only was it Blu-ray, but it also had the digital copy in there, which I love that because that means I ain't got to dig the disc out. My living room right now, we have a DVD player. I'm getting ready to put a Blu-ray in there. But, it's just a little bit easier just to turn on the Roku, flip around to Vudu or wherever whatever you use for streaming. Another little thing about this film, if I remember right, I think I am. This is John Landis. If I remember right, this is what was coming out, or was he working on it? I want to say he was working on it when the trial for the Twilight Zone stuff happened. And if I remember right on this, he invited everybody who was at the trial to come see his new movie. You just got put on trial for killing a handful of people, including 2 children, and you want people to come watch your movie. Funny ass movie. John Landis, he still makes good movies. But goddamn, what a piece of shit. And what happened to Eddie Murphy? Eddie Murphy used to be fucking hilarious, man. I mean, I can remember as a kid watching Saturday Night Live and laughing my ass off watching Eddie Murphy. I started watching Saturday Night Live probably about 1980. 79, 80, somewhere around there. Probably the 79, 80 season. And I stayed up and watched it every week. Saturday night, I was not going to bed till about midnight. Sometimes I'd fall asleep right before the end. And Eddie was one of the reasons. They always say, the first cast you watch Saturday Night Live is usually your favorite. That's kind of true of me. My mom was Murphy and there's Piscopo and all those guys. Even though I will admit the later on, the early 90s cast, when it was like Sandler and all them, I enjoyed that too. I gave up on SNL in 97. Janine Garofalo was on there. She was doing great. Then she got let go and it just... I usually try to watch one episode a season just to see And the last time I watched episode, I actually laughed my ass off, and ties back into Eddie Murphy here, was last season when he came back, and that was some funny shit. That was hilarious. But this movie, man, and there's not, let's say we ain't got much. We got principal photography coming together of America. For Akeem, the costumes are coming to America. Character building, the many faces of Rick Baker. Composing America, the musical talents of Niles Rogers. A vintage sit-down interview of Eddie and Arsenio on photograph. And that's the other thing. Eddie and Arsenio play so many roles in this movie. Like, they play a bunch. There's a barbershop they go to fairly often where, besides Cuba Gooding Jr., everybody else in the barbershop is either Eddie Murphy or Arsenio Hall under heavy makeup. Oh, just such a great little film. And I don't hear anybody really talking about this anymore. I mean, if there's a sequel coming, I've heard, or a remake. I don't know which one. And I'll end up watching it. But I don't know. It's just one of those where I'm not really sure what happened. And for the price, this was like $6. Couldn't pass it up. Excuse me. Definitely worth tracking down if you love funny shit. So, hope you enjoyed that. Remember, if you did, give me that thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, all that other bullshit. Talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.